Okay, so for this lab, I don't think it will take more than an hour, guys. 45 minutes max, right? So for this study, we'll be using this picture, right, in conducting our activity relationships, right? So what I need you guys to do is I'm about to upload this very picture, and you're gonna need to download it, and then you'll follow my lead, right? Let me just. Okay, so when you download it, make sure it's in the PNG type, file type, and then make sure you save it where you can easily retrieve it, right? So I'm just gonna upload it quick. So I want you to see my passwords and stuff. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you can refresh and go to the very same place you went when getting the lab guide, you'll see now the picture, right? And then you'll go straight ahead and download it. Right? Okay, so. Okay. Okay, so yeah, under this topic, subjectivity analysis, you'll see the picture there. Just go ahead and download it, and then let's get started, right? Okay, so let me just wait 2 minutes for everyone to download and save the picture where they can see it, and then we'll continue. Okay, I'm just gonna split my screens. Okay, so yeah, for those that are waiting for the other ones, so this cover page of your lab guide, it was a subjectivity analysis or activity relationship between what's this? This was like in a hospital environment, right? So it was they were doing the activity relationship with regards to like your chairs, your bed, your monitor screen, and your entry, for example. And in the end, your end result, when you are doing your subjectivity analysis, you should see something similar to this, right? But yeah, as we work, you will be able to do something similar to this. So once you are done, you should be able to see such an analysis, right? So here it's a diagram analysis based on your what's this? Your opinions that you used. And then on your top right there, we have your subjective score. Now your subjective score is basically it's calculated by the program, by the software, but it is actually based from you, the individual that was doing this subjectivity analysis, right? And one thing about this activity relationships is that you can always get input from operators, that is from the people that work in the company, right? So that they can give you their viewpoint as to where they think it's best for for your for each department to be placed to which, right? So yeah, you also have your aisle effectiveness. Your aisle effectiveness is also another important measure, as it informs you as how effective or how efficient your layout is, right? So basically, this is what I want to see when you submit your work, right? Um, yeah. So without wasting more time, let's get started, right? So we start obviously by opening Layout IQ. We're done with that, and then on the Layout IQ welcome page window, click on New Project, right? So yeah, I strongly suggest that as I'm doing the work, you're also doing the work, so that you can just get better understanding of what's happening, right? So we'll click on New Project, and then the name of the project, you can just give it a suitable name, right? And I won't need the file to be in this format. All I will need is a screenshot, and then you just paste it into Excel. Right? So anyway, we can name our project and call it maybe layout. Okay, optimal layout. Optimal layout, right? What did I call it? Okay, I just said subjectivity analysis. I'll just say what to call here, subjectivity analysis, right? You'll see that like this is like simple, right? So next is that you will, number 3 there, on project settings window. Okay, so project setting windows appears, appropriately name your project in the name box, of which we have done. And then under data sources, it's in bold. Under data sources, click on the subjective analysis checkbox, right? So down there, you click on subjective analysis, right? Once you do that, you'll see that the principal investigator is highlighted. So when you are working on this project, when you're working alone on this project of determining which department should be situated next to which department, you don't have to check any boxes, right? But for our case, we want maybe 2 people to have an opinion as to where do they think we should place the departments, right? So once that happens, you will click on the consider multiple products checkbox, right? And you'll also click on consider the opinion of multiple people, right? So as I said, for in this case, we are doing um, an activity relationship analysis based on using two people, right? In a test, I might say maybe one person, but yeah, normally it will be maybe two, right? Or one. I'll just inform you, right? So anyway, once you have also checked the consider the opinion of multiple people, you'll click next. Then you'll be redirected to the create an experiment window, right? On that window, you can name the experiment manufacturing layout. Then you leave everything as is. You don't check any box. You just leave everything as is, and then you will click next afterwards. Right. Then we go to step number 6. Right. Yeah. So in a test, maybe I might say your your activity relationship analysis is based on two people, and maybe give you the opinion of one person, and then when you'll have to do your own opinions, right? Okay, so we click next, right? Then you'll be redirected to the define the products window, right? Now, in the define, so once you behave, once you see that window, in the product name window, click in the blank space to highlight it and enter the product types. For this exercise, we will enter high importance and low importance as the product types, right? Set the subjective weight for high importance to 3 and the low importance to 1. For this case, we'll just say we won't follow that, right? But we'll follow what I'm about to do now. So our product name, we can say a pump. So in this facility, we are the product of focus is our pump, right? I don't know if anybody is familiar with a pump, what a pump is, right? So a pump basically is something like this. The pump is responsible for extracting water from a surface, right? So yeah, this is what in our manufacturing plant, this is what we make, right? So I'm just gonna go back. Yeah, I don't know if everyone wants to see pump. Let me just maybe make a bigger picture. So I can't make it bigger than this. Okay, let me see this. Yeah, this is the biggest picture I can find. So this is a pump, ladies and gentlemen. So for this lab, we'll assume that our product is a pump, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go back to that. So subjective weight. Let me see something. Okay, so with your subjective weight, we all know what the word subjectivity means. Subjectivity means opinion, right? So I will also inform you on like how much should your subjective weight be, right? But if I do not inform you, we can just put it maybe. Let's agree that our range should be from 1 to 3, right? For our subjectivity weight. So Yeah, for our case, our subjectivity weight, we'll place it at 3, for example. Now, your subjectivity weight is important as the software considers whatever parameter value you put in, as your software will be able to determine uh, how much effective your layout is based on this subjective weight, right? Yeah. So let's click next. Once you're done with that, we can click next. We won't do the other row because of time, right? So click next after that. Then, as I said, 2 people will be responsible for giving their opinions. So as you can see, once you click next, you see the window that says define the people giving opinions, right? So I can't stress this enough. This what's this? This activity we are doing is based on opinions. Now, you might ask, say, when you're marking, how are you going to mark? Because my opinion is different from the other person. Let's just say I will mark based on logic, right? If your what's this? Your logic doesn't make sense. If you put, like, for example, um, maybe where you do your machining next to cafeteria, I might penalize you because that doesn't make sense. How can people? Okay, maybe that one. Okay, that one makes sense. Maybe let me put it this way: how can you put maybe a toilet next to cafeteria? People will be uncomfortable when they're eating, right? But if you maybe put like your cafeteria next to your maybe where the operators work, that's better because in terms of them traveling from one point to the other, it's much more quick and much more efficient, right? There won't be a lot of loss in time, and they'll be able to meet their demand, right, with whatever they are producing, right? So for this case, we'll have 2 people that are giving their opinions, right? Um, that is Joe, who has an assigned weight of 2. Wait, let me just check my lab guide. Okay. Actually, Joe, I don't know if it's clear enough. Oh, it's 3. Thank you, somebody. Okay, so the assigned weight for Joe is 3. As I said, I might give you the values. Right? And then Mary, the assigned weight is 2. Right? And then with the software, you could like get the phone numbers of your colleagues and their email, but it's not necessarily important, right? I guess maybe something, the information that might also be important is an email. So you can email them asking them, why did you think to, why did you give such opinions? What was your reasoning behind this? But yeah, that's not really important for our case, right? So after this, you can click next, right? Okay, so now we are on the add or edit locations, right? Once you get here, this is where, let me go to the picture that I downloaded. So when you get to this phase, okay, I just opened my picture, right? So when you get to this phase, this is where you put in all your departments, right? This is where, I repeat, this is where you put all your departments, right? But as I said, because of time, in here there's a lot of departments. For example, you have your receiving, stores, press. After pressing, actually you have receiving, stores, shearing, punching. You have press break, you have roll form. So that's the press department, right? You have your spot welding, then you have your assembly area. After assembly, you have also next to assembly, your part stores and oven. So you can see that in making this product, it has a lot of steps, right? And a lot of departments to go through. So for our case, yeah, we won't really be making an analysis based on all the departments, but just only a few, right? Yeah, you'll see why I'm doing this. So anyway, we can start off by saying our first department is receiving, and then you can just click enter, and then next we can say stores, and then can now go to the next department. The next department is the pressing, let's say pressing department. Yeah, you can, if like a department is long, you can just abbreviate, but just make sure it's clear, right? I don't want to be asking a lot of questions as to what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that, right? Once after that department, we have our spot welding, and then after that spot welding, we have assembly. In this layout, I can see that they didn't put things like your cafeteria and whatnot, but yeah, I would like to see those things, right, in your amended layout, right? Yeah, just to say this again, with your layout, your initial layout, how can I put it? When I say amend, I just mean add some auxiliary departments that you maybe forgot, and just keep in mind that how I might set the test is that you might make this subjectivity analysis or activity relationship based on your own initial diagram, right? So it's not like maybe I'll give you a picture whereby you can do everything that we're doing today, but maybe how I'll set it is that I will maybe say that based on your initial layout, just do the activity relationship analysis, right? And then you take it from there, right? Anyway, so after assembling, we have a parts stores, right? And then let's say the last one. Let's make the last one to be. You can say shipping, for example, shipping. Right. So once you're done with this, we can just click on next. Right. Once you have put in all your what you call your departments, you can click next. Right. And then let me just go to my lab guide, make sure that I'm following it as is. Okay, so layout IQ. Okay, we're on this page, right? So layout IQ add or edit locations window will appear, where you add the locations of the manufacturing layout as shown below. For this study, we will be using the default 2x2 region for the entry and inserting graphics to represent the other items. So what's meant by that line, if I can go back, you can actually go back to the previous step. I go. It's not allowing me to go back. Okay, experiment. Okay, it's not allowing me to go back. Let me just quickly restart this on my side. Even you guys, because it should be going back. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so what you can do is that you can just open a new project and just quickly type what we had already done, right? I hope everybody had that. So if you cannot go back, just quickly restart a new one and we'll continue where we left off, right? You can name it however you want, just as long as it's appropriate. Unable to load new project exception. Okay. Seems like it doesn't take numbers, so just try being creative when you are saving. Manufacturing layout. Then product name is a pump with a subjectivity weight of, I said what, 3 that time. Yeah, 3, subjective weight of 3. And then define people. We said the people that are giving their opinions, it's Joe with an assigned weight of 3, and the other one is what? Mary. Thank you. And then with a assigned weight of 2. Then we click next. Right. We said the name of the first location is receiving. What I had wanted to show you when it didn't want to go back was this 2x2 square. So this square is a 2x2 square, and what this just means is that if you are uploading a photo of your receiving layout, the size of your picture would be a 2x2, but it's not really important that much, because if your size comes in a 2x2 format, you can easily readjust if your picture is not clear enough, right? But yeah, it's not really that important. So after receiving, we have what's this? We have stores. We have stores. We have press department. Then we have spot welding. Then we have assembly area. And then we have our oven. Okay, not oven. Okay, parts. Thank you. Part stores. We have part stores. And then we have lastly shipping. We do not consider the other departments because we just want to save time, right? Okay, so the last one is just shipping, right? So from all these departments that we have added here, we're now gonna have to assign which should be situated next to which, right? So we'll just click next. Once you're done inputting all your locations, you'll just click next. Okay, I'll not click back, otherwise it will just cause us trouble. So the next step is, okay, so as you can see, you are now redirected to the subjective window, right? Wait. Okay, this is, yeah. So you're redirected to the subjective window, and in your subjective window, things that you have to be aware of is that under the person drop down, you have 2 people, the people that you assigned, right? Joe and Mary. So if you can click on the drop down, we'll see Joe and Mary, right? And then products, we'll see your pump there, right? And then on the right, next to products, you see create opinion, right? of which we'll do just now. And then the other field that you should be conscious about is your score and your reason, right? Now, with your score is basically your closeness, right? And we have 5 categories. We have A, E, I, O, U, X, right? So I'm just gonna explain a bit about what those are about, right? But I'm sure you have a clue. So with the category A, it means absolutely necessary. So when you are maybe saying your office and maybe admin, their relationship is maybe A2, for example. What you mean by that is you're saying that the closeness is absolutely necessary, and then you give your reason. Your reason is from 1 to 5. If you say, for example, 1, not specified, you just mean that it's just absolutely necessary. Right? But if you say A2, you mean that closeness between those two distances, between those two departments, that is your office and your admin area. When you say A2, you mean that it's absolutely necessary that these two locations are near each other. And you're saying 2, when you say A2, that 2 means for better flow, right? Otherwise, another one could be your receiving department next to maybe the docking station. Like you might say also that closeness is absolutely necessary, and say why. All materials move between that. You might say A3. A3 mean 3. That reason number 3 means all materials move between these two departments, right? And then you have 4, which is people movement. You have 5, safety, right? Yeah, but as we're deciding, we will get to understand better what that score and reason really means, right? And then up there, you can delete your score, you can delete your reason, and maybe if you made a mistake, you can delete score, delete reason, and put in the one that you want to put, right? So we're gonna start with Joe, right? So basically, this is like the first important part of your activity relationship analysis, right? So when you get here, we'll say create opinion, right? And then you will see this kind of a table, right? So on your y-axis, it has your department, and on your x-axis, it also has the very same department, right? It in a way it mimics a from-to chart, right? I don't know if you are familiar with the from-to chart, something like that, right? So let me just extend this so that you can see properly assembly area. So you can just double click there, then yeah, double click there, double click there. Okay, on the y-axis, I've never been able to, to make it like visible, to make the names clearly visible, right? Anyway, I'm gonna need you guys to participate in this, right? We are trying to make an opinion as to which department should be close to which. So if I can ask you, in terms of receiving department and shipping department, what is the closeness and what is the reason? Can we have anyone to participate? So, okay, the question is, we are trying to determine which department should be close to which. So I'm asking, between receiving, how you read this table is that between receiving and shipping, what is the closeness and what is the reason for that closeness? So as I said, on the right side, you have your closeness and then you have your reason. Is the closeness between receiving and shipping absolutely necessary, especially important, ordinary importance, unimportant? Is the closeness undesirable? So yeah, what might you say about that? Can we have someone to maybe give us their opinion? Unimportant, right? Why is that? Like, base your reason based on that reason. There, the bottom right there. What is your? I agree with you, but what is the reason? So basically, what you mean is that it's just unimportant, right? Thank you. So how you'll do that is you'll okay. It's not allowing me to click. Oh, okay, it's fine. So it immediately it knows that I'm in the first cell. So you'll just click on U, unimportant, and then you'll just click on one, and then you are done with the first one. Right. The second one is how close should the receiving department be with the parts stores? Can anybody give us their opinion? And bear in mind the logic. Like just try to um, when you are deciding this, just make sure it makes sense. Is it like better to place this to this, right? Um, yeah, just like always ask yourself, is this gonna be, is this like comfortable for people? Is this placement of departments gonna save time? Why is this optimal? Why is this closeness important? Just ask yourself questions like this. But I'm sure you start to realize that it's, how can I put it? It's common sense. Some of the things you cannot just place just for the sake of it. You have to have good reason, right? So receiving and part stores. How's the closeness there? Huh? Or do people know what receiving department is all about? With receiving, the receiving department is basically the location where your trucks come in to deliver the raw material, right? And then from there on, your material goes to, what's this? Goes to maybe part stores, use it with the use of maybe a pallet jack, a forklift, and whatnot. And yeah, it just travels through the whole system up until it becomes a complete product. So that's what receiving is all about. So from what I just said, what is the closeness between receiving and part stores? Sorry? Absolutely necessary, right? I agree with that. And what is your reason? Hmm? Yeah, I could give you a mark if you said for better flow, but I could also give you a mark for all materials moved between these two departments, right? So yeah, for this case, we can say for better flow. Why? Okay, let me do this. Oh, okay. Let me just correct. Okay, let me correct this unimportant one. Okay, yeah. So receiving and part stores, it'll be we said what? Absolutely necessary for better flow, right? And then you can click tab, and then receiving and assembly area. Can we get that opinion? Receiving and assembly area. How close should those departments be to each other? Unimportant, ordinary importance. So yeah, it's basically really unimportant, right? Uh, it doesn't have a correlation, right? Yeah, so you can just say U1, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna fill in the rest of the cells, and then we'll continue, right? So for receiving and spot welding, the closeness is unimportant. Those two departments don't have a relationship at all. Um, and yeah, it's even unsafe. Someone might say U5 for the safety. With spot welding, there are sparks that fly, right? And you wouldn't want maybe your products being exposed to those sparks. Those sparks in welding, those sparks in welding, it can cause flames, right? So you could say it's U5, right? And then receiving and press, it's also unimportant. And I think you can also type out, those scores and reason, right? And then receiving and stores. Receiving and stores, let me just go to stores here. Okay, so yeah, receiving and stores, that relationship based on that picture of ours is very important, right? Receiving and stores, because they are close to each other. Once the products get to receiving via the trucks, they immediately go to the stores, right? So that relationship is absolutely important. Why all materials move between that? Yeah, I see. If we can backtrack, right? There's stores and then there's parts stores, right? The difference is that with stores, this is where all your materials go, but with parts stores, it's where you have things like your maybe your should I say tooling, your spare parts and all that, right? So with this one, we can say it's ordinary. It's just important, right? For those departments to be close to each other, right? And then you do the same. It's somewhat repetitive. You do the same for stores and shipping, right? Stores and shipping, it's unimportant, right? Those two, they do not have a relationship. And then stores and parts stores, that one we can say the closeness is important, right? Why? We could say for better flow, or we could say it's just important, right? And then this is where I'm deviating a bit from the lab guide, but you will see if you can compare with the lab guide, it's more or less within like the same opinions, right? Just that maybe with some in the lab guide I said maybe I1, but maybe I said I2, but here I'm just saying maybe the reason is not specified. I don't think you'd be wrong, right? So your stores and assembly area, the closeness is ordinary importance, and maybe the reason is not specified, right? And then stores and spot welding, we could say it's also ordinary important. We don't want our operators traveling a long distance to fetch the spare parts that they need, right? And then we can say maybe for better flow, right? And then okay, this one I shouldn't do. Okay, your stores and your press, that one is very important. And then why, you can say maybe for better flow, right? And then we have your press and shipping. So those two are far away from each other. They don't have a relationship, right? And then you can say unimportant and then one, right? Okay, and then press and part stores, that one, that closeness is important. You can just say not specified. And then assembly area and press, it's very important, especially important. We can say especially important, important, or absolutely necessary, right? Why is that? They are just after pressing, um, the product passes to assembly area, right? So we can say for better flow here. Yes. Yeah, sure. So if we can go back on your receiving, right? Receiving and shipping. Receiving and shipping, we said, what's this? We said the closeness is unimportant, but one could say the closeness is undesirable as well. I would also give you a mark for that. Why is that? Because there's absolutely no relationship between those two departments, right? So let's just put an X there, right? Because it doesn't really unimportant and closeness undesirable, those two options are correct for that context. So if we were to do that, you'd get this pop-up, right? Minimum distance pop-up. And then it says, please enter a valid minimum distance between locations, between receiving and shipping. I'm not sure as to whether the software measures this in meters or millimeters, right? But for safety purposes and us analyzing a plant layout, normally the distance between receiving and shipping is like maybe 10 meters, for example. Right? So for your case here, you'll just put 10, right? And then we'll just assume maybe the software calculates in meters, right? And then you click set, and then you'll have X1 there. So are you happy that you see an X there? Yeah. But I'm sure maybe it was because you saw in the lab guides there was that pop-up, and yeah, that's how you configure that part. So should you think that the closeness is undesirable, you can put in like a reasonable value, or maybe I can give you a value for you guys to set during your lab test. Right? So I'm just gonna quickly rush through these ones so that we can get to the next phase, right? So spot welding and shipping, that relationship is unimportant. You'll just have to analyze this part, right, in your own spare time. So for the sake of time, we're just gonna pass through quickly. Spot welding and parts stores, that one is important for better flow. Then spot welding and assembly area, we can say it's especially important for better flow. Then assembly area and shipping, can say unimportant, right? Because after assembly, products have to go for other things like painting, and after painting, you have to go take your product to the oven so that the paint can dry. So there's just no relationship between those two, assembly and shipping. And then part stores, you want to have your parts, your spare parts, your tools next to your assembly so that your workers, the operators, do not waste time, right, in doing their work. And then for better flow. And then part stores and shipping are unimportant. So for your practice, you're gonna go ahead and maybe make the opinion for Mary. And how you do that is you just click on Mary there. So immediately when you click on Mary, what's this? It'll create, you'll have to restart the opinion. Yes. Oh, there's one missing. No, it's actually, yeah, press and spot welding. So that one, the important is ordinary importance, right? Because after what did I do? Okay, okay, let me click on it. So press and spot welding, it's like ordinary importance or unimportant, really, because after pressing, you have to take the items to assembly, right? And then that's when you take it to spot welding. So you can say ordinary importance, and you can say not specified, right? So yeah, once you're done with Joe's opinion score table, you'll go to under person there. You'll go to Mary, right? That's where you'll now create. So in the test, for example, I'll give you maybe an opinion score table for one person, and then you'll just copy that opinion score table, and then you'll come to maybe the second one. The second person, that will be you, right? That will be you giving your own opinion score, and then that will be the one I want to. So that will be the one I want to see, right? and then yeah, you submit that with the analyzed layout, right? So for this case, we won't bother with clicking on Mary because we know that once you click on Mary, you'll have an empty table there, right? So, but yeah, for your practice, just when you get to res, in your spare time, just do this opinion score on your own, and yeah, just for practice. So once we're done with this, we can click next, right? You don't have to do for Mary. You'll go and click next, and then you'll get this this window, right? So if closeness is undesirable, then specify the minimum distance between the locations. The mask will be created to show blocked locations in the layout. So yeah, what this window shows is that you stated that receiving and shipping, uh, those two departments should be as far away as possible, right, from each other, right? And then after that, you can just click next, right? Okay, and then you'll see this this window, right? So in this window, this is where we'll now start to insert that that picture that we took a screenshot of, right? So yeah, before that, you'll see that at the top right corner there, you have your subjective score and you have your IELTS effectiveness, right? And your data source is on subjective, and then your path type is on actual, right? And then you have your products, pump, your people there that had opinions, and then you have your locations, right? Now, because like we didn't do the opinions for Mary, it obviously is gonna mess up with your analysis. The software will so the score that you'll see here will be a specific score, but because you didn't put the opinion for Mary, it won't be the desired score, right? So that's why I'm saying in your own spare time, just make sure you have opinions for the two of them. You'll see that if you do opinions for the two of them, your subjective score and your IELTS effectiveness will be different, right? So anyway, the next step is, I believe, you click on set background. Before that, let us set the dimensions. So with setting dimensions, basically uh, it's just to enable you to see your picture better, right? But you can always readjust your dimensions, right? So for this case, you can just say the height to be maybe 60, and then the width maybe to be 60 as well. And then you click on set, right? Let me see, what did I do in the learner guide? Okay. Okay, so the layout window will now appear. Save the model by selecting. Okay, that one is not important. Number 14, to import the picture for this layout, click set background, and then the layout background editor will appear, right? And then click insert graphic, and then choose an image. Okay, the choose an image window will appear, and then click OK. Right? So once you have uploaded your picture, you should see something like this, right? So that's what we will do now. So click set background, and then you'll say insert. So you'll go to let me see. So you'll say insert graphic. So we're now on the layout background edit. Right? This is where you'll get a preview of your layout, right? Then you'll say insert, and then you'll go to where you saved your what's this, your picture, right? So at the top there you see graphics, right? You'll click that drop down, and then you'll click on first space, and then I saved mine as activity RE, right? And then you'll click there, you'll click on your picture, and then you'll click image open. Make sure the file of type says images, right? And then you'll click open. Okay, and then you'll see that selected objects, dimensions, and rotation. You'll see that the software already it set its own height and width, right? So if you can just click set, and you can always readjust however you want, right? And how do you readjust? You always make sure you click on the picture and you set dimensions, right? So yeah, if I make it 20 here, let me say 40 here, it'll automatically uh, recommend the height for you. Then just click set, and then you'll see that as you keep on changing that, it keeps on either increasing the picture or reducing the picture. Right? And then once you're done with that, you can click OK. Right? And then you'll see your picture nicely there. Right? And once you are in this view, you can't really edit your picture, right? You can only edit once you say set background. Once you go back, once you click set background and go back to this layout background edit, right? So yeah, I'm just going to click OK there. Okay, so this is our layout, right? And all these locations, under locations, the assembly area, parts, stores, press, receiving, and whatnot, we'll now put them appropriately on our layout, right? So first things first, you have to make sure that all these areas are highlighted in blue. Yeah, just make sure that under products and people, don't select Mary because we didn't do the opinion for Mary, right? So just select pump and Joe, right? Make sure those two are highlighted in blue, right? Okay, and then once you're done with that, you'll now go to assembly, right? Assembly area, and then you'll drag it to where you see it on your layout, right? And then, yeah, so let's start by doing that, right? So assembly area is there. So once you have dragged your assembly area, you will see it there on your layout. So there'll be like a box. So that box you can move it around, right? There'll be a box with should I say it's a mark in the middle there. I don't know if people can see. Can you see? You can actually move around, right? So we'll just place it nicely there, right? And you'll see that as you click drag and drop onto your layout, you no longer see it under locations, right? So we're also gonna do the same with part stores. So we're gonna see where our part stores is there on the diagram, and we're gonna put it there, drag and drop there, just like that. Make sure you try as much as possible to make your locations to align, just so that you get a straight line like that, right? Okay, and then you will go to your press. You'll go to your press department, and then you'll do the same, just like that. Okay, and then you'll see that once you have placed it, it's gonna connect with the other two layouts. I mean the other two departments. Excuse me. And then once you're done, you're gonna go to receiving. You're gonna go to receiving and drag and drop there. Okay, and then you're gonna just readjust. Now I'll inform you as to why do you see different colors, right? So what this means, before I continue, you'll see that the lines, the thickness is different, right? What that means is the thicker the path, it means that in that path, that's where uh, most of, how can I put it? That's where I'm trying to look for a better word. that's where most of the action happens. That's where it's busy, right? So the thicker the line, the busier the path is, right? So it just means that there are more interactions between the press and the assembly area, right? And all of this is due to all those opinions that we did under Joe, right? So we can just also align it nicely with that assembly area like that, right? Uh, and then shipping, we have shipping, right? And then you can click and drop to shipping, just like that, right? And then you can just adjust nicely like that. Right? And then we have spot welding, right? Spot welding, where is spot welding? Spot welding is between the press and assembly area, right? So you can click and drag there. Okay, so we can move that on top of, yeah. So you can, as I said, you must try getting those squares to align as much as possible, right? So so you want to your press, your spot welding, and your assembly area to align nicely, just like that, right? Um, and then the last one is stores, right? You can click and drag, drag and drop, right? Just like that. And then you can just align it to press there, just like that. Um, but if if your departments, you can't really align them like perpendicularly or horizontally, uh, it's not really a train smash per se, right? Um, but just try as much as possible to realign your lines, right? So let me just quickly go to the learner guide to check something. Okay, so you are now ready to place the locations on the layout. That will automatically generate the distance calculations for the study. Click on and hold an item from the locations box while dragging it to the layout. Right, that's what we have done. Right, so the subjective score is calculated from the opinions tables. Guys, can I have your attention, please? I'm about to finish. You'll have that break just now. So the subjective score is calculated from the opinions tables and weights of the opinions and products. Notice as the locations are placed on the layout, the software calculates the subjective score. Right? At the bottom, you will read on your own as to what is the significance of a high or low subjective score, right? And then creating actual paths. That is what we were doing now, whereby we were trying to make sure that each department, the path is horizontal or perpendicular. Right? Make sure that all the names in the people list and in the product list are highlighted. The colors and line weights represent the intensity between two locations, as I said. Like, so the thicker the path, it means that's what's this? That path is intense. That's where most of the work gets done, right? The line thickness is adjustable according to the scale of the layout. Then, yeah, and so on and so on, right? Okay. Okay, so for the layout I had done, the subjective score was 37,036, and then the IEL effectiveness was 99.75%. So this IEL effectiveness is very good. It means that your layout is efficient and is optimal, right? So you want your IEL effectiveness being as high as possible, right? So in this case, because we shortened the number of locations, our IEL effectiveness is 100,000 and 100%, and the subjective score is 7,373. Right? So if you also, so between stores and shipping, if you want to maybe try to get the the path to be horizontal, you can just click on it there, click on that line. Yeah, you can click on that line and then drag it however you want, just like that. Okay, just like that, and then so if you see that arrow, you can just cross it out, right? Quit. Oh, what did I do? I think I just closed my layout. Okay, but what I had wanted to show you is that if your aisles are diagonal, you can click on the aisle and then you can drag however you want, just so that you make it into like maybe a right angle, or like just straight lines or perpendicular lines, just like this green one, right? If you can follow my cursor, just like this green one here. You'll be done with your activity relationship, and all I will need from you is to see this table, the opinion score. Not this one. I want to see this opinion score table, and I want to see the final what's this? The final layout that you have analyzed and which you have created actual paths for, right? And then you submit, you'll insert into Excel, and that's what you'll submit. And then yeah, that's it. Before I close, I just want to make you aware that I will also upload a recording for you to watch, which is about your how to analyze your flow, right, in your layout, right? So just because you'll need that for your assignment. I spoke to Mamushan and she said that I need to share that recording with you so that you can be better prepared to do your assignment, right? And yeah, with your assignment, you can consult with me. I'm sure you know where to find me. And yeah, anyway, that's it for the session. And yeah, you can just maybe take a 5-minute breather because Sia here will be having you for the lab. So yeah, sharp guys.
You'll be the one that books in with me, and
what's up? I took more time.
why are you giving this full 5 minutes on my time?
You want them having your attention or not? You want them to have your attention. Stop